Well, what can banks do today to be ready for tomorrow's ever-changing payment demands? Again, it comes down to strategy, how you want to service your customers in the future. So there could be potential payment methods that aren't available today. So we're seeing things that are hot in the space in buy now, pay later. We're seeing it in open banking and sharing of financial data with others, and many other applications that are out there. The main thing that you want to do is you want to take a look at how you want to service these customers and bring in a partner that has the experience, that understands the landscape. It's important to get an outside perspective of where the industry is going. Even if it's just a validation of what you're doing today, it's important that you get that outside perspective to make sure that you're on the right track, to make sure that you understand the gaps and the trade-offs for the decisions you're making today, and figuring out what are the best practices in the industry.
How can financial institutions prepare today for tomorrow's payment demands? The single biggest thing that you can do is figure out a way to make sure that you create a flexible platform. So one of the things that we have seen is our partners, our clients, move forward with creating an API gateway, for example. And with that API gateway, then as new payment opportunities, technologies, and products come along, you can quickly adopt those. Versus a less flexible and dynamic platform that's going to require a considerable amount of heavy lifting every time you want to make a change or onboard a new product. So thinking about what you want the future to look like and planning for options that don't exist today, creating the foundation and the technology that you need to quickly adopt those products and technology, that will be the key. So I would start not by going out to adopt a particular discipline or product when it comes to payments. I would start with the foundation that is necessary to add that first product, but be prepared to add more, knowing that the landscape will continue to evolve. The way that FIs can best future-proof for additional products and needs and evolutions in the payment space is to, as previously mentioned, one of the opportunities or options is to make sure that you build the right foundation so you can quickly adopt additional technologies. But having a mind towards what technologies will be relevant for your customer base. So a financial institution that does a tremendous amount of mortgage lending might have a different need or a different approach than a financial institution that is very, very heavy on the debit side, right? Or on the treasury side. So you need to look at your landscape. You need to look at your customer base, your secret sauce, if you will, and understand what payment methodologies, products, and disciplines will be best suited for your customer base. So as you build out the foundation, you are building that out in a way that will be most relevant to you and your customer base.
Yeah, some of the common roadblocks and pitfalls that we think banks and that we see that banks need to be aware of. One of the common things is where to start. So in innovation or ideation, tons of ideas that are out there that get piled up. Then the question is, okay, how do you focus? How do you prioritize? How do you figure out what's going to be what you can deliver in the near term that's going to have the greatest impact? So that's some of the things that we help you think through, is really trying to figure out what you can do now that will have that greatest impact, and really how to lay out your technology roadmap. Some of the other things, challenges is really in the change management part. And it's how do banks, how do you go from the strategy to actual doing? That's the change management part. That is one of the most difficult. It's easy to put a lot of theories and ideas out there. The hard part is getting to the implementation stages of that. And then finally, the common pitfalls that we see is that this is not it's not a one and done process. This is a very iterative process. that continues on and on. You have to continue to measure and analyze your results and potentially change or pivot your strategies depending on the direction of the market. You're not going to be able to make all the predictions, and you're not going to be 100% right all the time. This innovation process is continuing to measure what's out in the marketplace, what your competitors are doing, what fintechs are out there that are actually building solutions because banks are not providing those products today. All things to take a look at, but again, those common pitfalls are it's not a snapshot in time. You have to continue to look at these the technology roadmaps, specifically where new innovation is taking place.
Some of the common roadblocks and pitfalls that we see as financial institutions and organizations prepare for future demands it's twofold. The first is, don't try to plan for everything on day one. That's not going to happen, and it's going to put you in the spin cycle, and you are going to get into analysis paralysis, and you'll never be able to create a solution today that is going to solve for your needs 5 to 10 years from now. So try to contain what it is that you're trying to solve for would be the first piece of advice. The second piece would be, make sure that you are enlisting the help of experts. There are a lot of folks, organizations, and people that bring a lot of knowledge and background and history and information to the table. Make sure you leverage those. Make sure you understand the nuances within everything that you pursue so that you can plan for those accordingly, but more importantly, so that you know what it is that you need to plan for and what you don't need to plan for. The pitfall is trying to do too much in one move. You need to give yourself time, you need to be strategic, and you need to think out a little bit. But I wouldn't get into that 5-10 year range, simply because technology will advance and change so much by then that you don't know necessarily what you need to plan for. So don't allow yourself to get stuck in the planning stage of trying to solve for things that you don't even know you need to solve for yet.